What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias, aka Elegance, and today we are making some Psytrance basses with Serum 2. You guys have been enjoying the last couple Serum uploads, so I decided to do some more. In case you are new to the channel, I am a producer and sound designer. These days I focus more on sound designing aspects of music production. I have my own website where I have sold hundreds of preset packs. I've also worked for biggest preset and sample pack companies on the internet, and today I'm here to show you guys how to make some really cool Psytrance basses for your own tracks. I'm also going to show you a couple of variations which you can experiment and try. I find it a little bit easier to pick my tempo. Here is 145, and I also have my kick. This is from my sample pack, which is available in the link in the description. Here we have our bass line, fairly simple. We can also take out the first notes where we have the kicks hitting, and this is what we have currently with initialized preset of Serum. Pretty crappy. Now let's start shaping up the sound. We'll be using basic shapes and some warp modes for this tutorial. First of all, I'm going to pull the randomization down and pull this down 2 octaves. Then I'm going to adjust the envelopes, and pretty much the most important thing about Psytrance basses is the timing and the envelopes. It's all about the groove, all about the interplay of your kick and bass, and it can help figuring out the timing if you also have your sidechain applied to the bass sound. Here we do not have the first hits of the bass, but just in case I'm going to also add the sidechain. It might cut away a little bit from the second note. That's really nice. Then we start zooming in on the envelope 1. I'm going to match my note length. This is unique to the BPM, so you can just copy these values. You have to adjust this by your own tempo. Something like this, and then we pull down the release just a little bit. You can also leave a little bit release if you have some gaps in between the notes. But I'm going to just have the notes side by side. Then I'm going to add sub oscillator. We are going to use sine wave, pull this down 2 octaves, and I'm going to route this directly out. We can add a little bit volume for this one, pump this up. It's easier to hear. Now I'm going to add filter 1. We are going to create our own envelope for that one. I'm going to mimic the old shape which we had on envelope 1, but I'm going to alter this a little bit to get some really nice filter movement going on. Let's change the shape. I'd recommend using these steep 24 dp shapes for your Psytrance basses. That way you have very strict cutoff on the filter. You can add a little bit of release to the taste and maybe some drive. Also, you might want to draw down the randomization on your sub oscillator, and that's pretty much a simple Psytrance bass. Even though we can do a lot more to this, this is kind of the base. This is really basic Psytrance bass. I'm going to add a few effects, and then I'll show you the variations, so stay tuned for those. Let's go to the effects. I'm going to add a compressor. slight difference. I hope you guys have some sort of speakers or headphones so you are able to hear. Then I'm going to add some distortion, try out different distortion modes for this. You can try to swap position of these two. Sounding really damn cool. This is kind of the basic setup. Here you have a Psytrance Bass, but now I'm going to show you guys how you can transform this into hundreds of different Psytrance basses. Now the easiest and simplest method is to change up the shape and the phase position of these waves. And you can change up the position of sine to kind of get a little bit stronger sub response out of your bass. This sounds really good. You kind of have to have the headphones or speakers to hear the diff. You can also change up the shapes. Maybe try this one. And to add different warp modes, you can try the alt warp modes like bends and asymmetric, but I'm going to actually add some FM modulation for this. We are going to use the PD, the classic Serum 1 FM modulation, and I'm going to modulate with our sub bass. Sounding really damn cool. Then you can also add unison and some voices. I recommend keeping it kind of low key and to pull down the wood. There's the difference. Then what we can also do to really make this pop is to add envelope 3. I'm going to pull down decay and sustain to around 15 milliseconds. We are going to add main tuning and add some pitch bend to the start of this sound to give it some attack. You can hear the difference now. It's really great, but you could use this as well. Something like this sounds pretty damn cool. What you can also do is to add more oscillators. Let's route this to our filter as well. And then we're gonna use some cool warp modes for this. I'm going to use maybe asymmetric. Let's add something more, maybe one of these filters, maybe high pass. Let's try different wavetables. You can hear how this kind of add this slight knock. And what you can also do is to add macro to the cutoff, so we can easier adjust this. We can also add some cool effects like really short delay or maybe hyperdimension. Let's add hyperdimension, that's easy. Then I'm going to add some chorus. the envelope 3. We are pulling the sustain down, adding some decay. We can also add a little bit of noise. For this one, I'm going to use the short wave to kind of give just this slight snap. We are going to use white noise and maybe filter it a little bit and widen it up. Then to get a little bit of groove going on, you can also add this velocity to your levels. Like so, or you could add this to your master level, but I'm going to do it just this way. Then we can pull these down like this. The point of this video is to keep experimenting, try out different styles. You can do so many different slight nuances to this sound and get it to sound like yourself. This preset is going to be in the description. Check it out. And if you want some crazy drum samples and effect samples, I have a new update coming to my Cataclysm EDM drum sample pack. I'm going to add over 100 crazy effect samples to the pack, so check that out, grab it while it's still on the lower rate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!